Hello, this is Niswander, and this blog I'm calling Independence Days. I've got a lot of stories. It's not just July the 4th, but we all know it started July the 4th, 1776.
Niswander Rock Theater.
Hello, this is Dr. Hans Nootcase. You know, you never know when you can change the world. It is possible. I discovered a time machine. I came back from a very important meeting. This group of men, they asked me to sign this document, so I did.
The Declaration of Independence. You know that story. Well, I hope you do. My Swiss grandfather and grandmother, on my father's side, their names were Neuenschwander and Gerbe. They came across Ellis Island into the United States for the first time. They came like 3 months apart. They were already together. They weren't married. And anyway, I found their records, their arrival records, at Ellis Island on July the 4th, 2007.
And I was actually able to find information. I got a printout. I can get an actual copy of the form that was filled out when the forms that were filled out when they came at a later time. But I was able to get it registered. I found both my grandfather and my grandmother. My grandfather came first. He arrived on March 31st, 1913. He was 23 years old. But this record even shows where he lived in Switzerland, Wielbo, Switzerland. I did not know that. I thought he came from the family farm, which is in Samstagern. He came. It even shows what port of departure the ship came from, and the name of the ship, the Rochambeau in Le Havre. It was shows that he was single at the time, and I looked at the form, and it does show that his final destination was listed as Spokane, Washington. So I knew that that's exactly who it was, and I assumed that the name Niswander was misspelled because of Ellis Island. As it turns out, his name was spelled exactly right. As a matter of fact, on the form, ordinarily they just put the first initial and then your last name and not the entire first name. In his case, somebody had actually written E-R-N-S-T, even though it was a sloppy job and it bled over into the line next to it. So somebody actually even wrote his full name there. And also how much he spent, and he was in second class on the ship coming over. The ship left Le Havre March 22nd, 1913, and arrived in New York March 31st. And my grandmother came shortly thereafter. I didn't have as much time to look at that information, but I will revisit it. But it was an emotional moment the whole day. I walked through Wall Street to the World Trade Center. That was another emotional moment. There was a beautiful bronze mural with everyone's name who lost their lives there, and it was dedicated also to those that are still alive and carry on.
I saw basically a drawn picture anyway of what the ship looked like that he came in on. And it's interesting how there were 3 levels. You had the bottom level, which was where it was the merchant level, where people put their stuff, and it's third class people came there. In the middle part of the boat, the second class section where my grandparents were, was second class, so you had to have some money to get into that. And then the top level, the upper class, obviously, the top brass of the ship's ranking, the captain, of course, and all of that. So it's interesting to see the class-based system just on a boat coming over here. I was the youngest grandchild, and when he first came to the United States, he joined my great uncle in Washington State. They were drilling water wells. That was a big deal at that time. But when he had enough money saved up, he moved to Northwest Ohio, Defiance, Ohio. and they had a home there. Then they found a farm 5 miles outside of Defiance in a little village that, as far as I know, it's still not technically an incorporated village. It's called Independence. And the farm was at the top of a hill coming off a road going along the Maumee River 5 miles from Defiance, Ohio. And of course, by the time I came along, I was the youngest grandchild, so it was only fruit that I recalled. And there was a barn, so that he still had his cider press and all that kind of stuff and fruit trees. I helped him pick cherries, actually. I remember one summer.
I guess it reminded him of Switzerland. I watched Neil Armstrong step on the moon with him, and more. If I'd have known, I would have asked him, why did you pick Defiance, Ohio? Independence, Ohio, as where the farm would be. Is that associated with the Declaration of Independence? And he always seemed to be kind of an independent kind of guy too, and I've been that way, and I think I got some of that vibe from him, actually, maybe a lot of it. Well, if there's a genetic connection, I have no idea, but anyway. And also, as far as Independence Days, I also played a festival. It was called the Indie Summer Stages. It was the 4th of July weekend in Indianapolis, Indiana, 2002, with the Niswander Band. We did about a half an hour set on one of the stages. The festival was over 3 days. It featured headliners like Blondie and The Roots and George Thorogood and the Destroyers and Los Lobos and Guided by Voices and a lot of bands. And what a great experience that was as well. So yeah, a lot of Independence Days for me. This is Niswander. Stay independent. Or be independent. And maybe on a serious note, interdependency is a good thing because we all are here together as one. Everyone makes the world go round. Cheers.
Emma Lazarus' poem from 1883 really says it best. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore, send these, the homeless tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.